Hey everyone, it's Hunter here with 360 LSAT Tutoring, and today I wanted to go over some tips on how to make an LSAT study schedule and an LSAT study plan. I'm going to go through starting at 0 for people that have no experience with the LSAT. However, if you're already studying for the LSAT, this is also going to be helpful for you because I'm going to go through every part of the process of the study plan. So if you're just starting out, the first thing you want to do is take a diagnostic test. And that's going to be a test where you haven't studied at all for it, you have no experience with the LSAT, but you're going to want to take that under timed conditions. The reason you're going to want to take this test is you want to get a baseline of where you are. So once you get that baseline, you can set goals on where you want to go with your score. The reason it's important to set a goal score is because the difference between your goal score and your diagnostic test is largely going to impact how long it takes you to study for the LSAT. If your diagnostic is only a few points away from your goal score, then it's not going to take you very long. However, if your diagnostic was a 145 and you're looking to score a 170, it's going to take you a little bit longer. So the general timelines can vary anywhere from 1 month all the way up to around a year for those people looking to make really large jumps. It's important to keep in mind that people work at different paces, and setting a timeline is great, but it is certainly not an exact science. So you want to leave room for flexibility in your study schedule when you're planning things out. I always tell my students to overestimate how long it's going to take them to study for the LSAT. I think people tend to believe that the LSAT is only a 3-month studying experience. That is the case for some people, but it isn't the case for all. So whatever amount of time you think you're going to study for, it's probably going to be more than that. The LSAT is difficult and can take a while to study for. So once you've set a general timeline for yourself on how long you think it may take you to study, the first thing you're going to want to do is go through a curriculum or read some books or even find a tutor. So figure out which one of these you think is going to be best for you. I have an entire video on that if you're interested, and it's just about the basics of the LSAT and how to get started. So once you've found your book or your curriculum or your tutor, you're going to want to allow yourself maybe between 1 or 2 weeks if you're really on the short end, or if you're on the long end, several months to get through that curriculum. So again, it does depend on where your goal score is and where you started as to how long you're going to want to sit and work on this curriculum. While working on a curriculum, it can be a good idea to take a test every 1 or 2 weeks to kind of work on the things that you're learning. If you don't do this, then you may not get used to the testing conditions as quickly when you finish up the curriculum. So it's always a good idea to kind of get used to the curriculum, but mix in a test every once in a while into this curriculum. Once you've finished your curriculum, now it's time to start taking full practice tests pretty regularly, as well as timed sections. So the key to this is knowing which one of these two is good for you. If you are a well-rounded LSAT test taker and all of your sections are about the same, then you're probably going to want to take more full tests. However, if you struggle with a particular section, you're probably going to want to focus more on that section. So if you're really struggling with reading, but you're really good at logic games, Focus on that reading and don't work on the logic games as much until you're able to improve your reading score. In the final home stretch before your LSAT date, you're going to want to almost exclusively work on full tests. Get used to the time conditions and get used to how you approach the test. So take as many full tests as you can without burning yourself out in this period. Generally, within the last week of the test, you just want to maintain your ability rather than try to improve it and work really hard. You don't want to get exhausted before your test. So generally, the day before the test, people just relax or maybe even just run through one or two LSAT questions just to keep your mind flowing. But don't work too hard during this last home stretch before the LSAT. This is your time to relax and kind of get your mind mentally prepared for the test. So that pretty much wraps up our information about a good study plan. One thing I would like to note is that depending on how busy you are and how many things you have going on, it's going to impact how quickly you can study. So not only does the length of time depend on how far away your diagnostic test is from your goal score, it also depends on how busy you are and how many other things you have going on. If you have work full time and you're going to school, you're not going to be able to devote 40 hours a week to the LSAT. So be realistic when you're creating a plan. And one thing to note is that burnout is real when it comes to the LSAT. So don't create a plan that just goes on for a year at a time with no breaks. Create a plan that's logical and works for you, and one that has breaks and a little time off. I hope this information helps you create a study plan. Again, it is something that needs to be flexible to you. So I know this information isn't crazy detailed, but the study plan is something you have to tailor to yourself. So this is the information that you need to decide based on the things that I talked about and other factors in your life about how to create a good study plan for yourself. This is Hunter with 360 LSAT Tutoring. I hope you have a great day. If you're looking for tutoring services, please feel free to reach out to us. Our information will be on the screen. We are free for email or go ahead and visit our website. We offer affordable LSAT tutoring. Right now we're running a sort of New Year special for $50 an hour for tutoring. That's nearly $30 off of our typical rate. Good luck with your studying, and please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.